Hello, Samford fans. Welcome into the 2019 Samford softball season preview. I'm John McAfee, happy to be joined by Samford head coach Mandy Burford-Johnson. Mandy, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Well, when you look at your team, you've got a lot of experience coming back this year. Last year, it was kind of an inexperienced squad. You returned just about everyone this year, but you did lose two really key pieces in last year's seniors, Lexi Higgins, Shelby Mays. Lexi, of course, one of your assistant coaches now, and Shelby, one of the best to ever wear a Samford softball uniform. But when you lose two players of that caliber who have had such an impact on this program, how do you begin to go about replacing that level of production?
Well, you really can't. Shelby just about broke every single one of the records in the record book, and Lexi had the best year of her career. And so you just hope that they made a big enough impact and influence on the ones younger than them to where we can carry on the high note that we finished on last season.
And replacing their leadership, that kind of starts with that senior class, and you've got a group of four this year: Anna Yantis, Hannah Trombley, Madison Couch, Kelsey Royalty. When you look at that group of seniors, what do you expect from that group this season?
Well, the great thing about them is they were freshmen whenever we won the SoCon Championship in 2016. So their experience combined with playing with that level of that high level of play that they were able to experience their freshman year, with the juniors having so much experience, that I've been very pleased with the leadership. We really haven't encountered any problems, and they've been time on task, and they've done everything I've asked of them up to this point. So I'm really impressed with the leadership they've shown so far.
One area where everyone's coming back is your pitching staff. All four pitchers that appeared last year are coming back this year. You also had a talented freshman in Lacey Spear. Talk a little bit about what you expect from that group. Last year, that was kind of an inexperienced area for you guys. Now they have a year under their belt. What do you expect growth-wise from your pitching staff?
Well, I know we'll talk about Rachel Fox, but we hired a new pitching coach who will be instrumental in bringing them to the next level. But I think they got a lot smarter last year, and I think it'll just be putting them in positions to succeed, along with the good matchups with the teams that we face. Taylor's our left-hander, so obviously if there's a lot of lefties or some really big hitters, then she's a good matchup for them. Anna throws a little bit harder east to west, so they all bring something to the table that's different. McKenna's drop ball, Emily's side to side. So it's just a matter of matchups and them being a year smarter and bringing Lacey along with them.
Talk about all the new faces in the program this year. You have a freshman class of 5, and you have a couple of transfers as well. What have you seen from them in camp?
Yeah, so 7 new faces. There's 20 of us, and there's 7 new ones. So it's been a challenge, but that's where that upper class leadership has really gained in. So 2 transfers. One's a junior, Maddie Dorsett. She'll play shortstop for us. A third baseman, Timberland Sherbert. She'll vie for playing time at third. She's from NC State. She was a freshman last year. And then the 5 freshmen, Colby Holcomb will be behind the plate some. We've already had a talented core between Hannah Trombley and Katherine Jackson, but Colby will fight for some starting position. Lacey on the mound, and then the other 3 are just very versatile. They're the first to practice and the last to leave, so they're eager to play at a very high level.
And new faces in the dugout, as well as you mentioned, Rachel Fox, Lexi Higgins, of course, on your staff now, and Chandler Dare Brooks as well. Just talk a little bit about your new coaches and what kind of their area of expertise is and what they bring to the program.
Yeah, the great thing about Chandler and Rachel both is that they came from high programs, Alabama and A&M, and Rachel worked at Mississippi State, and they're accustomed to winning, and they don't want to do anything but win, and they do not settle for anything being mediocre. And Lexi last year, she kind of left with a bad taste in her mouth because we didn't do as well as what we would have liked. So the great thing has been their intensity and their work ethic hasn't been something that I've even needed to push because they push themselves on their own. Rachel will lead the pitchers. Chandler is helping in all aspects. Great hitter, great motivational speaker. She's very talented in the outfield. She'll coach first base. And Lexi's just kind of been all hands in on deck. I think she really wants to get into coaching, so she's our grad assistant this year, and she's done a heck of a job as well.
Preseason poll came out last week. You guys are picked to finish 4th. You had 5 on the All-SoCon teams, 1 on the first team, that was Madison Couch, 4 on the second team. I know you probably don't put a lot of stock into that until you guys start playing some games, but internally, what are your expectations for what you can accomplish this season?
Yeah, Greensboro returns a lot of hitters, and Bryden will be back to pitch. So, they returned a lot, and then I think everyone else is just kind of right there in the middle, waiting to see what kind of happens in the preseason. Our lineup, we do return a lot of hitters and add the new faces and the new bats and the transfers, and I think our lineup will be really consistent 1 through 9. We're going to have an issue with finding playing time for some of them. It's just been very, very competitive. And then seeing who emerges as the 1 and 2 on the mound should be fun to watch. And then defensively, that's something we've really focused on, was upping our defensive play. So, if those start clicking in preseason, then I don't know about the 4th seed. I just think we'll have to see what happens. But luckily, we have about 7 weeks before we get there.
Looking at the non-conference schedule, is there anyone that kind of sticks out in your mind as a team you're excited to play?
I mean, we've got some really big name opponents. This weekend, 3 of the 4 teams made regionals, so that's a tough one, including Arkansas. We get to play number 1 seed Florida State twice in Tallahassee, so that should be the biggest atmosphere to prepare everyone for that. And then a 3-game series in Oxford where we get Ole Miss twice and Oklahoma State once, who all made regionals and super regionals. So, I think it's challenging, but we get all of that out of the way before conference play starts. So hopefully some leaders emerge, the batting lineup settles in, the pitching settles in, and we get a solid defense set. And it should be fun. It's a fun group to watch. There's a lot of energy. I'm just really excited to get started.
Mandy, appreciate your time. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Samford will open its season this weekend when they travel to McNeese State for the Cowgirl Classic. They'll have their home opener next week here at the Samford Softball Stadium, hosting North Alabama on Wednesday. I'm John McAfoose, and this has been your 2019 Samford Softball Season Preview.
Dog speak!
Woo!
Dog speak! See, I reckon you do it all the time.